You know, and we all have our 15 minutes of fame, and I'd like to take a couple of my 15 minutes to talk about the rights and the wrongs in the world of professional wrestling.
And it is for the WWE Championship.
This match is for the ECW World Heavyweight Championship.
The World Heavyweight Championship.
The match and new NWA Heavyweight Champion of the world.
We appreciate you guys coming out and taking your time to support women's wrestling in America.
This match is for the AWA World Heavyweight Wrestling Championship.
Today on the podcast, we have a member of the Table Diamonds division, the Booker T's Reality of Wrestling promotion. In fact, as I speak, currently holds the championship for that division, and you can see her in action on ROW's TV program. And if you're not in the Texas area, fear not, they have full episodes on YouTube. Also listed under Reality of Wrestling. My guest, the ROW Diamonds champion, the Black Diamond, Ivory Robyn.
Yes. Hello, how are you?
I am doing well. Thank you for making your way to the show. I know that your time is precious. Let's see, just coming off the training, no telling what you're getting ready for, any title defenses, all that good stuff. So,
Yeah.
Well, that's the life.
Gotta stay ready. You always gotta stay ready. Stay ready.
I see that. So you know what we have to do here. We have to. Don't panic. Don't panic. Well, we have to start at the beginning because the whole point behind these things are to let the fans get to know you on a bit of a different level, and of course we'll move on up through your career and to where you are right now. But starting at the beginning, what got you interested in pro wrestling from the start?
Well, I've actually always been a fan of professional wrestling. I can remember watching my first match when I was 4 years old, and I didn't realize till a few years ago. Actually, my parents both were big into wrestling, especially my mom. It just kind of runs on my mom's side of the family. The very first thing I always tell people about me whenever I first got into watching wrestling, I remember very vividly the feud that was going on between, I believe it was the Ultimate Warrior and Papa Shango. And he was backstage lying down, and the doctors were working on him, and he puked up green stuff. So I remember seeing that as a 4-year-old, and I was scared, but I was just like, this is crazy. So, I was really big. I'm from South Carolina, so WCW back in the day was very big in the South. So I watched WWE, but I really at that age started watching Sting more as a kid. So yeah, I've been watching it since I was a little kid.
So you were in WCW territory, being in the South. That of course I stayed what used to be in the home of WCW in Atlanta. So I certainly understand that, and I do remember that angle, which was, absurd. But
you would think seeing that at a young age, you'd be screaming for your mom and dad, like, what's going on? A man is puking up green stuff, like, what's going on? But yeah, it was fascinating.
I'm pretty sure your mom or dad would have said, "Oh, don't start that. Look at that stuff, that." Everybody had their parents give them that talk. Like, look, don't worry about what's going on that TV, please.
Yeah, exactly.
Particularly in that feud, for those that are listening, if you haven't seen it, go try to find it on YouTube so you can get context to what she's saying. Papa Shango puts a curse on the Ultimate Warrior, causes him to just throw up all over the place. Another time he had him green stuff come out his forehead, which they told on the second he walked out with his jacket on, because he never wore a jacket, so you knew something was going to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
I know. And let me not start picking at WWF from back in those days.
Yeah.
So clearly you were a legitimate wrestling fan. This is not something that came on later on or you used as an easy way to kind of slide into entertainment. You were a genuine wrestling fan. So was it Sting? I know you just said that you kind of, you were in WCW territory. You kind of gravitated a little bit more towards Sting than the Warrior at that time. Was Sting influential in kind of, giving you inspiration to become a wrestler?
Yes, I would. Sting is number one on my list of all-time favorite wrestlers, just because I felt like he was entertaining. Even as a kid, like his whole persona, the face paint, the excitement of just his character is what caught me at a young age. And it's kind of like how a lot of young kids are now with John Cena, with the bright, the bright color shirts and the hats and him speaking positive, and how the kids were with Hulk Hogan, how his whole persona, like kids were drawn to that. Yeah, I was just drawn to Sting because he was just he just caught my attention at like a young age. He was just entertaining. So yeah, he definitely influenced, he's one of the reasons why I like, I love this business. I respect this business. He's been doing it for a long time. He's a cool guy.
Well, you sound like a genuine and super fan.
Yeah, I feel like I'm like, as some people like to call it, marking out over here, but I don't care. Like, to me, I genuinely have to say this, like, most people that get into wrestling and then they try to, down the term mark, I feel like, well, why did you get into it? Were you not a mark? That's kind of what I feel like. And when people say that, it doesn't bother me. So yeah, I'm marking out over here for Sting. So.
Okay, good. Go ahead and mark out for Sting. We're interesting. I got the opportunity to check him out at the Omni before that place closed down in one of his, what I consider one of his better matches. So I'm going to ask you, since you just brought that on, he's had a lot of feuds at what I consider the height of the Surfer Sting character. Of the feuds that he's been in, which one stands out in your mind?
While he was any of his personas, or
any of his personas, just for you. Like, for me, the feud that stands out is, well, two actually. The one that he had against Vader, I thought that was outstanding, and ravishing Rick Rude. For whatever reason, those two particular feuds just stuck with me. But for you, wherever it was,
match that gives me, like, because I went back like months ago, and I love watching old wrestling.
Good for you.
The match that I love, and before the match even kicked off, like, I love Sting's entrance to his match with Hulk Hogan at Starrcade 97. And I just caught like goosebumps, like when both of them came out, but when Sting, like when his music hit, like I rewound that same part over and over again. Like, but I like that match. I like at the end when Bret Hart came out and then Sting ended up going over, everybody came out, hoisted him up. Like, I do like that. That's one of my favorite Sting matches that stands out.
Well, you're amazing, because I thought the finish of that match would have really run most people away, but hey. Yeah, it's different.
I kind of have like a different mentality sometimes when it comes to wrestling. So it's like stuff that might turn people off. I can kind of be like, oh, well, that's interesting. Okay.
Well, wrestling is art. It is subjective. So, everybody views it a little different. So before we go into just general wrestling history, we have to talk about your wrestling history. So before there was an Ivory Robyn, there was Robyn.
Yes.
Somehow that name changed, and you'd given me the backdrop on that before. So let's share that for the listeners here. How exactly did you transition from Robyn to Ivory Robyn?
Well, yeah, that's a funny story. Whenever the name change came about at Reality of Wrestling, which is where I am currently, when it was time for me to do a run out in a match between Princess Miranda and Athena, the wrestling goddess, I was supposed to come out, attack them both. Pretty much, this is me, my very first, pretty much like reintroducing myself. It had been a year since I had been on, and I came out, and Booker wanted me to cut a promo. And so I cut the promo, and I was feeling the promo so much, because my name was just Robyn. I was known as Robyn Reed, or Robyn. And when it came time for me to cut the promo, I got so into it, because I tend to, like, get into my promos, especially if I'm really, really passionate about it. And I slipped up, and I said my name. I said Ivory. Ivory is my shoot name. So I was like, Ivory, and then I paused I said Ivory, Robyn, better be a part of it, because I'm like, maybe they can edit that out. I don't know. Maybe they can edit. That's why I kind of paused to give them a chance to edit that out. And as soon as I get to the back, Bruce Pritchard and Booker were like, well, now you're Ivory Robyn. So, so yeah, that's how Ivory Robyn, became.
Okay, so you have gone ahead and worked with it. So what started as a little bit of a flub up is now turned to your advantage.
Yes, exactly. It's different. It sounds different. So I mean, yeah, that was my bad, but
it's all good. They've managed to make that work. Now, some people may not be aware of it if they're only aware of you from reality wrestling, but you did work independent before going to reality wrestling. Some of those
yes.
you shared with me, and it seemed that a good chunk of that you were working intergender matches.
Yes, I was the only female at the promotion, and so I like that. I like the fact that, I feel like as a female wrestler, when you, not saying that you don't get tougher wrestling other females, but I feel like you really get tough if you wrestle. I was the smallest one there, so wrestling against guys 200 plus pounds just made me tougher, like the shots that I was taking. And I felt like that built me up to, if a girl just comes and gives me a clothesline, I'm like, oh, okay, well, I've taken a clothesline from a 350-pound man. So most of the matches were intergender. It was me versus a guy. So I wasn't sure how they would feel about it, but for the most part, most of them felt comfortable. This was at a Pure Action Championship Wrestling in Wichita Falls. Okay.
Now, Pure Action is no longer in operation, correct?
Yes, it's no longer active. The guy that ran it, he goes by Buck Wild. He lives in Las Vegas now, and I believe he's wrestling up there now, but him and his family got transferred up there, so he kind of had to shut it down.
Okay. Smoking hot Vegas.
Yeah. Whew, I don't know, 120 degrees? I don't know, man.
Vegas was 100 degrees at night when the sun went down. I was out there like, man, I can't stay here.
No.
I'm not designed for that. It's a great place to visit. But
when I get overheated, I get mad, so I'll probably be mad all day. So
just walk through the casino floors if you're on the strip. There's all air conditioning in there.
I take about 2 steps and pass out.
Oh, no. You'll make it. Believe me, you'll adjust. It's hot, but you'll make it. Now, that's one independent. How many did you work prior to going into reality of wrestling?
How many? You said women?
Independents. Did you get to travel a lot, or when you were done with Pure Action, did you just work your way to Texas?
That was the only promotion that I was working for at the time. Mm-hmm. There were a couple times where I was supposed to go to Oklahoma and Dallas, but things came up to where I couldn't. So before Reality of Wrestling, yes, it was just Pure Action Championship Wrestling.
So how did you get involved with Reality of Wrestling?
Once I knew that Pure Action was going to close down, I knew that I wanted to keep pursuing this. Mm-hmm. And so I went online and I looked up wrestling schools. There were a couple that I came across in Texas, then I came across OVW, and then I also came across the Dudley school in Florida, and I was like, oh, Florida's kind of too far right now. OVW, I was kind of iffy about that one too, but I was like, okay, let me see what Texas has, because I'm not quite ready to move out of Texas yet. And came across, well, they still had Shawn Michaels School listed, but I think that's defunct. It was defunct. And then I came across Booker T, Reality of Wrestling. So I was like, huh, okay. And so what I did was I started looking up all the info, getting all the info from that. Then I looked up a couple of the wrestlers and just started speaking to them through Twitter, you know, hey, you know, how's this school? What's it like wrestling here? And they told me, you know, great things about the school. So I decided, you know, I told my parents, I was like, I am moving to Houston. And that's how that came about.
Okay, so you didn't move into Texas strictly for reality wrestling. This is a move that occurred some time ago, and before you were contemplating leaving Texas, you decided, hey, I found a good school here, Booker T's Reality Wrestling, which is actually pretty renowned at this point. So it was good fortune for you. Is that kind of the gist of it?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, there we go. So now, there are some people that get to watch ROW online, and I will repeat it again for those that aren't aware. If you are not in the Texas area, you're trying to catch the show, you can watch it through YouTube. I think they put up full episodes. They're pretty regular about it. So if you're trying to see exactly what the program is about, is easy to catch. But
very much so. But if you're in the Houston area, around like this area, we are shown on TV actually before we post the videos up on YouTube, like a day or two later, on the CW at 11 a.m. on Sundays.
And that's a pretty envious position that you're in, being a part of a promotion that is in a top market on television. Because I would imagine potentially there's 100, well, I was going to go in 100,000 range, but let's just say million potential viewers to watch, you know, that program week in and week out, which can only do well for you and the rest of the people that's in the promotion. The women's division, or the Diamonds division, that's in ROW.
Yes.
First, when did you come across? Because if I'm not mistaken, I saw a little bit of a change in, I guess, that portion of the roster. Some people kind of transitioned out. New people have transitioned in, and there was a slight hiatus on that championship. What can you give any insight of what happened as to, okay, I forget who's the champion right now, so forgive me, or the champion at that time.
You're fine.
But I know the champion was there, and then it just kind of faded off for a little while, and it reappeared, and then you won it.
Yes.
What's the backstory there? Was there any particular reason that the Diamonds division kind of took a dip for a second and came back up?
We were pretty much in the rebuilding process, if you can say, because I don't know if you've seen it. Last summer we did Summer of Champions, the very first Summer of Champions, and we had 10 girls. There was a lot of girls there, a lot of girls sticking around. Yeah. But then as time faded, or as time passed, a couple girls kind of fell off, and the division was getting kind of smaller. But what happened? We went on hiatus after Final Heat, which was this past February. And so time passed, and then the champion at the time, she ended up leaving, so the title was vacant. And so I'm all for, I believe in hard work, so I'm still relatively new at this time. So I knew that if I, busted my butt, I couldn't be denied. Eventually I would hopefully be given a chance. And so that's what happened. The division it was kind of on hiatus for a little bit. And so during that process, the champion ended up leaving, and he started back up in, I believe, July. And so I was there. I was working hard to get that title, be the top girl.
Okay. So it was an unfortunate set of circumstances, but the other one couldn't remain in the promotion. But you and the influx of other new faces have come along and kind of propped it back up, so that's good.
Yes. I don't want it to fail under my watch. No.
Well,
not at all.
Well, now I'm glad you brought that in, because that was going into the next question. So here we go.
Good transition.
Great transition. You are the third ever Diamonds champion. Do you feel any bit of pressure, especially after what we just talked about there? You had some people transition in, you had several people transition out. Do you feel any pressure as the champion to help elevate that division now and kind of, bring it back around, particularly at this point in wrestling, where women's wrestling is being given a kind of a spotlight?
Mm-hmm. No, I don't. The reason why I really don't feel any pressure is because, to me, I'm good at helping build people. You know what I mean? Like, I'm good at encouraging people to, do the best you can. I'm not going to walk around that girl that has the title or the championship and be like, well, just because I got it, I don't have to do anything. No, the following Monday after I won the championship, I was at the gym training just as hard, as I was before. So I don't really feel any pressure, because I know, like, some of the girls that we have now that I've met, like, they're really good girls. They're good at listening. They're good at, following directions. I don't feel any pressure at all, because, I mean, not to say this in kind of a cocky way, but even though how can I say this? Even though I'm the champion, I've only been wrestling for a couple of years, but I feel as though when it comes to encouraging and things like that, I'm a good leader, and so that's, to me, when Booker comes up to you and says, you're the example, you're the champion, you are the example, get them in shape. You know what I mean? I can't really explain it, but no, I don't feel any pressure at all, because I try my best to lead the way Book would want me to lead. So I haven't lost any sleep or anything like that. So no, like, we're good. We're good.
Okay.
We're going to be good.
All right. How has it been working for Booker?
Man, it's so cool. It's so cool. Like, because Booker is that guy, like, you can sit there and you can talk to and ask him advice, and it's just like, you have to stop and listen, because he's been doing it, I believe, for like 25 years. And so his knowledge is just, it's insane. And it's just like, if we're in there running drills or something and Book comes in and we hear him talking to someone, it's like everybody automatically stops and we listen to what he has to say, whether it be him or Stevie Ray. It's just, or Bruce Pritchard, who's with the company now. Like, it's a great experience, just the way that we learn things. I would suggest that anybody come to this school. It's a great school to be at. We don't just teach moves. We teach you the psychology of it. We make you, it's like we're prepping you for, like, a WWE, tryout, if you ever get one in the future, and, like, kind of give you okay, this is what working TV is like. How we do it is very similar to, like, a WWE show. So you learn a lot more here than just wrestling moves. And I'm not, down talking anybody, anyone else's school, but here you learn more than just moves. You learn how to, how to time things, how to get a feel, how to work cameras, how to, interact with the crowd. When's the best time to interact with the crowd? Psychology. The trainers here are just crazy. Like, it's just awesome.
And, those are all very good and valid points as to what you should be trying to get, without me sounding like I'm attacking any particular promotion. So I'm gonna word myself carefully here.
Gotcha.
Let me see. How can I put it? There is an all-women's promotion that was on syndicated TV that, nominally speaking, uses models and actresses to fill in for the role of wrestler. And one of those people even expressed to me, because after she left there, originally she went to a wrestling school back in the day, and she learned the difference that on that particular show, they taught them what to do in front of the camera, but they didn't know why.
Mm-hmm.
There was no rhyme or reason why we did these things. We just go do this. So it sounds as if with reality wrestling, with Booker T, with Stevie Ray, Bruce Pritchard, and all these guys that you have access to within this facility, you are not questioning, or you're not in the position where you have to question, okay, why am I running over here, or what do you want me to look at these people for? You understand the reasoning behind the things that you do.
Yes. Pretty much, like, if you kind of have that question, like if they say do something and you have a question about it, don't be afraid to ask. Here, they are so good at breaking down why they want you to do a certain thing. They don't just tell you, go do this, and don't explain it to you. He might say, power slam this person over here or something like that, and the camera be sitting right here. Well, this is why, and blah, blah, blah. They do really good at explaining something that they want you to do. They don't just tell you to do it, and some people, they don't really explain why, they just want you to do it. So that's what I like. I like that so you can better understand, so you can add that to your knowledge.
It is unfortunate that you get some people that just kind of process through. One of the other things I noticed that they appear to be doing that I, on the outside looking in, like, is that there are other people that are brought in for you guys to work. The theory has always been that you can't get better unless you work people that's better than you. And the case in point, I guess, in this instance is that you were involved in a match with Athena, who had been working for some time and is kind of highly regarded as one of the top women wrestlers, or was on the independent circuit. She's over at NXT now. But aside from her, aside from her, have you had the opportunity to have any other name talents kind of walk in either in front of the camera, working against them in the ring, or backstage, where you can kind of pick their brains, that have helped move you along as a performer?
Yes. I got a chance at Summer of Champions to talk to Lita. Oh my God, like she's another one of my idols. Like I was freaking out so bad on the inside. I just hope it didn't show on my face. But I got the opportunity to, pick her brain a little bit. What did you think about the match? And just sat there and just listened. And it was the same thing as well with Bob Holly. Got a chance to pick his brain as well. And he's a cool guy. Oh my gosh, all these people are so freaking cool. And Devon Dudley did the same thing. It was me and Athena. We were both sitting over there listening to his, his critique. And of course, I always ask Booker, what did you think about the match? And like, other than them, I've had like little side conversations with like Carlito, some of the other guys that they normally bring in, DDP, but I would definitely say those guys that were at Summer of Champions, I really got a chance to kind of sit there afterwards and just pick their brain. You know, what did you think, or what could I have done better, or you know, whenever Book's, you know, at the gym and we're training, like I'm always picking his mind. Like, Booker, you know, like sometimes we'll like joke around, but I'm like, okay, what do you think about this? Like, if I don't do a move right, he'll sit there and make me do it over and over and over again, and I like that because I'm all for constructive criticism.
Okay. Well, I know that we're sounding like we're doing a lot of plugging for reality wrestling, but I feel like, of course, this is a huge part of who you are as a performer today.
Definitely.
So the next thing here that I have to ask is, it is not simply a promotion. It's also a, for lack of a better term, developmental area or training facility. So in a week, can you take us through the average week of someone that is involved with the ROW promotion?
Gotcha. Well, the gym is typically, we're getting ready to relocate to a 21,000 square foot building. So we're getting ready to move, but where we are right now, the average person, is it okay if I use myself or no?
You use that.
Typically I'm there 4 or 5 days a week. Monday through Friday is typically when it's open. A couple of the guys might go in on like a Saturday. But typically it's Monday through Friday. 5 to 9 are roughly the hours. I'll go in. We have a gym part as well where we can lift weights. I'll lift weights for about an hour. After that kind of warm up, we all get together and we'll warm up in the ring, do some cardio, do our rolls, shoulder rolls, bumps, all the bumps. Then we'll go over some drills. A couple days of the week, we have a character development night. And, what else? We have a diamonds night where it's just strictly for the girls, strictly for us. To go in and just, you know, own our craft and, or hone our craft and, what else? And then maybe like on a Thursday or Friday, people just go in and they just have matches. So it's like there's always something going on and there's always someone there that has that experience where you can go and ask them a question. So it's fun though. It's fun.
It is a very complete training facility for anybody that's looking to get involved in, learn the process of professional wrestling. So I think they'll be happy with you that we've covered reality wrestling in full. It is known as the flagship of Texas wrestling.
Yes.
Located in Houston. You can find them on Facebook, I believe. Definitely you can find them on YouTube. Anybody that's looking to go out and train. And of course, you know, when I have people on like this, I do feel the urge to provide plugs. So make sure that you check them out. You can go to realitywrestling.com. I think that is the website. If you are interested in pursuing a career such as Ivory Robyn has in the world of professional wrestling, go right on there, hit connect, go to the contact page, and I think you can chat with them at that point. 713-306-7052 is the number if you need to call. 713-306-7052. And that will get you a call in there. If you don't remember it, just go back to the website, like I said, realitywrestling.com. Now, there we go. We can now that I've done my good deed for the course of the interview, we can get back to it. If you are just tuning in for some unknown reason, I am talking with Ivory Robyn. And the last time I tuned into reality wrestling, you were coming out there doing commentary, and you were referred to as the Black Diamond. You know, you gave some explanation as to why you now refer to yourself as the Black Diamond, and I would like you to give that explanation here.
Alrighty. Well, the black diamond is one of the most rarest diamonds in the world. And it is actually used, like the black diamond is used to cut through all the other diamonds. So yeah, I liked that whole, that moniker, because it actually came about. One of my really good friends, is a fan of Kiss. And so they have a song called Black Diamond, and you know, I'm a black girl, so he was like Black Diamond. And then a couple of the other guys at the gym, without them knowing that he said it, started calling me the Black Diamond. So I'm just like, I'm gonna take that. Thank you. So that I liked it. Like, I came up with the name first, and then I'm just like, is there a Black Diamond? And I looked it up and I saw that information, and I was like, I like it.
Okay, so research and education also plays a good part into, developing character. Know what you're talking about. And if you just educated people that the black diamonds are rare and they cut through all other diamonds, which works for you being the black girl in the diamond division. So
yeah.
Now, are you planning on keeping that name, or is it strictly something that you have centered for, the location that you're at?
I'm not for sure. I would like to keep it. I've never really thought about that. I know here it's very fitting, being a part of the Diamonds division. I'm like Black Diamond. So as of right now, I can see myself keeping that name. I can see myself keeping it. And I even named my finisher, the Black Diamond, because I was trying to come up with a name for it, because it ends in a cutter. And someone was just like, why not just call it the Black Diamond? So it's the TKO is my finisher. So.
Well, it works. Now, I don't know what kind of contracts, if any, exist between the participants and ROW, but just for myself and I guess other promoters that do listen, are the people that are involved with ROW eligible to work in other promotions? To the best of your knowledge.
We are. Booker said that we are allowed to.
Okay, so you are allowed to go and work in any other promotion that you choose, I'm assuming with proper notice, and as long as those bookings do not conflict with any reality or wrestling show. So the next question here is, we have tons of promoters that surround the country, of course, and a lot of which that utilize women, some who specialize in women. If they were to try to contact the Black Diamond, Ivory Robyn, how could those promoters reach you?
Well, you guys can reach me through a couple different ways. On Twitter, my handle is @Ivory Robyn, ROBYN, ROW. All the ROW is capitalized. That's my Twitter. On Facebook under Robyn Reed. And if you need to email me, my email address is the word one, robynreed@gmail.com.
All right. Now, here's the real stuff. You, again, got to reiterate the fact that you are now the current Diamonds champion.
Yes.
And you have just illustrated the point that you could leave and potentially take bookings elsewhere, so long as it doesn't interfere with your primary promotion. Can you do that as the champion and defend the champion outside of ROW?
Yes, I can. Mm-hmm.
Now that opens
I am allowed to. Yeah, I am allowed to do that. Yes, I am.
That opens up a lot of doors there,
But the thing is, I'm kind of picky about where I go, for the simple fact of it's almost kind of hard to know who's a real promoter and who's just trying to get the digits and stuff like that. So it's just like, I start asking questions, what's the name of your promotion? You know, like, and I go search it up, and I'm just like, if it's something legit, I'll ask one of the bookers that we have here at the promotion. I always make him aware of everything that I do outside of reality of wrestling, because he knows a lot of people. So it's just, I try to be a little bit careful, you know, because you do want to be seen you know, you don't want to do backyard wrestling. Like, you know, like, no disrespect to anybody that does it, but I don't necessarily, I've seen stuff like that, and I'm just like, that's not my thing, you know. So.
Be careful about it. You know, and I know you're not trying to step on anybody's toes, but no, you don't want to do the backyard show, or let's just, you don't want to do garbage wrestling if you can avoid doing that, you know, some place that's unsafe, that doesn't have a lot of, you know, purpose behind it, no exposure, things like that. I can speak on a couple of promotions here just in case if they ever come up. Universal Independent Wrestling is legitimate. Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment is legitimate. Peach State Wrestling Alliance is legitimate. So, you know, those are three that exist in and around the Atlanta area. So if they ever come across your desk, you know that those they have something going on. And I think you can, of course, free plug for me, you can go to Women's Pro Wrestling Network. I do not operate a promotion, but I go there and I shoot the matches for several promotions around town. So if you see me calling matches for the ladies there, then do you know that's a legitimate promotion?
It's a legitimate one, yeah. And I'm actually but I lived in Atlanta for a few years.
Oh.
So, like, I'm familiar. Like, I lived in, like, the Stone Mountain area.
All right.
So, the Stone Mountain, Doraville area. So.
Yeah, you was straight down 20 from me there.
Yeah, yep.
All right. Why'd you leave? You should have stayed. Okay. You've done better for yourself being in Houston because you're with ROW now.
Yeah, I can't complain.
But to reiterate for those promoters out there, you can get a hold of her, and she can come with the championship belt. You too could have a Diamonds Championship match on your card if you are a legitimate booker and you can do these things properly. Now, to the best of your knowledge, are there any plans for the promotion that you work for to push to iPay-per-view, traditional pay-per-view, or anything of that nature? Because every time I read them out, they always seem to be growing. They always seem to be doing something new. And as you just said, they're going to a new facility. I really see no reason why they are going to cease their expansion. Has any word of expansions to those grounds ever come across to the talent?
As far as pay-per-views and pay-per-views, I am not for certain. I haven't heard anything, and normally, I try to stay in the loop of what's going on, but I haven't heard anything just yet. But I'm sure with the new building, and we have a major, this is going to be a plug, we got a big show coming up on January 30th. A new era begins. It's going to be our first show at the new building. It's going to be crazy. We're going to have some WWE stars there, some guests. They just announced I guess every so often they're going to announce who's coming. And I believe it was either yesterday or today, RVD is going to be one of the first people coming. So,
cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So as far as I'm not for sure yet if we're going to do any pay-per-views or just pay-per-views. So, I don't know. We'll see.
Would you participate? You've already done intergender matches in what was it, Pure Action, PAC?
Pure Action Champions.
Yeah, you've already done it there. What's the likelihood that you would compete in any of those going forward?
If it's with a guy that people that I know of, people that I know are familiar with, or if it's someone that I'm familiar with, I'll gladly do an intergender match. It'll give me a chance to be a high flyer like how I used to be. So I can't really do that here because I'm bigger than like a lot of the girls. So yeah, I'm about 5'8", so I don't really see myself doing any top rope hurricanranas to somebody that's like 5 feet. So I would love to.
Okay, so you want to work with somebody with strong base to be able to catch you when necessary.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess maybe that'll work in as long as it fits the current angle. I'm pretty sure they wouldn't have any problem letting you work an intergender match. Do you follow any other lady wrestlers that's out there in terms of, I like her style or somebody that you may like to have as a potential opponent down the line?
I am a big fan of. I was a big fan of AJ Lee whenever she was there. She was just different. I like the different looking girls. I love Sasha Banks. I think she's an awesome freaking wrestler. Naomi is just athletic as all freaking outdoors. Even Charlotte. I feel like Becky Lynch is so underrated. Like, I don't know, I'm drawn to her. I feel like she's so underrated. Like, I like her a lot. Gail Kim is freaking awesome. As far as like, the big leagues, as we like to call it, as far as the big leagues go, yeah, those are the girls that I really, really like. Bayley is just, you can't deny her. As far as the indie scene goes, there's like a handful of girls that honestly, like, I do like. I like Tessa Blanchard. Hopefully I'll get to face her someday. That'd be cool. I don't know. I'm starting to kind of watch this girl named Renee Michelle. I believe she's the champion at Maryland Championship Wrestling. Mm-hmm. Who else? I know Barbie Hayden. I don't know if she moved yet. I know she was around the Houston area for a while. Just like a lot of the top indie girls. Like, cause like, like you said earlier, I would love to work with people that have that experience and that I feel like I can learn something from and get better. Therefore, whenever somebody wrestles me, they can feel like that they're learning things from me the way I'm learning from someone else that I'm wrestling.
Okay. Now, that being said, you already had your match with Athena. Now, did you ever get a one-on-one match? The one that I saw was a three-way.
No, I never got my chance.
Oh, okay.
I never got my chance for a one-on-one, but to me, like, I had 2 chances to interact with her, like, as far as, like, match-wise goes, and I love both of them. I was just taking it in, man. I was like a sponge. I was sitting there, I was getting advice from her, and she's a cool chick. I respect her all the way.
All right. It's unfortunate that you didn't get that opportunity before she rolled off into NXT land. That might have been good to have Ivory Robyn get in there with Athena one-on-one.
Man, she made me work for that. To get that title, like, she made me work. I woke up the next day, felt like I got hit by a freaking truck. It's just like I took a boot to the face. I was like, oh, am I alive? Oh, okay, I'm good. So it was worth it because it was a great freaking match. And even Booker and all the guys, they said that was hands down one of the best matches that they ever seen with that promotion. So I love it. I love hearing things like that. So she brought out the best. So.
And that match is available. Yes. You can find it right now, can't you?
Yes, you can find that match on YouTube. Go to the Reality of Wrestling page. I forgot which episode number. I know where I come in and interfere the first time is, I know that's episode 75. So I believe it's actually episode 79 where the triple threat match takes place for the vacant Diamonds Division Championship.
Yeah, you're a little bit of a bad girl right now, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm ass kicker. Can I say that?
Sure you can.
Yeah.
You said it. You're fine. Yeah, she could be an ass kicker or a last kicker if you're Becky Lynch. So
Yeah, last kicker.
That's a nice way to get around it with her t-shirts. But
Yeah.
why you seem like and sound like such a nice young lady. So why did you take the route of being the bad girl here?
Because I just got tired of being overlooked. I got tired of being overlooked, and so I just went in and I took initiative and I did what I felt like I needed to do to get the point across that, hey, you know, Ivory Robyn is here. You're not going to have a match, a Diamonds Division match without me, you know. So I don't know, I got tired of being, you know, felt like I was being pushed to the side. So I went in and I didn't care who I had to take down to get what, you know, I needed to get, which was the Diamonds Division Championship. And I got it, and I'll do whatever to keep it. I'll beat up whoever I need to keep it.
All right. Well, that's a lot of determination in your voice. Now, is this your first championship of your career?
Yes, it is. It is. I honestly, I got to the back, and I'm not even gonna lie, like, I teared up. Like, I kind of went to a corner and I cried for a little bit because I was just like, wow. So this is what this feels like, you know, and to have, like I was telling people, when Lita came out to present me the championship, if I never get signed to WWE or TNA or wherever, like, that was my WrestleMania moment. Like, my idol presented me my very first championship. So it's just like, you can't really, I don't really know too many people who get an experience like that. So I was freaking humbled and honored. You know, even now to this day, there are moments where I just get like little flashbacks. Like, I'll play Lita's music, just get these flashbacks and stuff. I'm humbled and I'm honored.
Okay. And I guess as you should be, it could be reiterated, I guess, as you said, that if you do not go to WWE or Impact Wrestling, TNA, or even ROH at this point, because I think they have a Women of Honor division, you've accomplished a lot in having that. But, you know, one of the tried and true things that take place in pro wrestling is the wrestling of the idol. Now, you were presented the championship with the idol, and I understand that it's probably unlikely that Lita will come out of retirement. But but if that booking could take place, and you could put the Diamonds Championship on the line against her, is that a match that you would be interested in having to step in the ring with Lita?
Oh, in a heartbeat. In a freaking heartbeat, I would. Like, I wouldn't even be able to, if Booker walked up to me and said, okay, you're going to have a match with Lita, the Diamonds Division Championship is on the line. Are you game for it? I would probably scream so loud in his face, like, I don't even know. He would probably end up getting mad at me. But I don't even have the words for how I would feel, you know. So something like that would make my life. Not even my day or my year, that would make my freaking life. So, yeah, I would be game for it.
Well, we're going to have to make sure that this interview somehow finds its way up to Booker T's phone and he can listen to it. So that booking can take place. Maybe he can convince it to happen. So,
hey, they're like coworkers on Tough Enough, so I mean, I'm just saying.
See, there you go. Now, you know, now as the champion, one of your jobs there, as we talked about a little bit earlier in the conversation, is to elevate the division, but you also have, generally speaking, the task of elevating the championship. So what do you feel if you had to do anything to elevate the championship? What do you think you have to offer to kind of help move that along?
what I have to offer to boost the championship?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying? Just my freaking hard work. Hard work. At the end of the day, hard work. I feel like hard work wins. Because I feel like you could be talented and think you know everything, but in actuality you don't. But it's just like my hard work. I feel like I can definitely bring that in and be like a fighting champion. You know, not an idle champion. You know, as Stevie Ray has said before, like, I just feel like I can bring that grit to it, and where people will take notice. Oh man, like the girl that's holding this strap she's freaking good. You know what I mean? I'm still progressing in my wrestling career, so I want to be the best to, you know, so everyone can see that this Diamond Championship is not just handed to a girl that doesn't know what she's doing, or a girl that she doesn't get it. You know, I want to be that champion that people look at as someone serious, as someone, you know, people can really say, wow, this girl really busted her ass. She's legit, you know, and that therefore they see that a legit person is trying to make the title legit.
Okay.
So I don't know if I really answered that, but that's what I feel like.
You've answered it. You answered just fine. But okay, so you as a hard worker are pushing to have your work shine through the championship, and by proxy, the championship will be elevated along with it. That sound good?
Yes.
There we go. See?
Yes, sir. There you go.
Yeah, I can help you along there. Now, you know, but we have to go back to this bad girl thing. You've already defined yourself as the ass kicker of the division, and the Black Diamond that's just going to cut through all of the diamonds. All due respect to the other diamonds that may be listening. Those were Ivory Robyn's words, not mine.
Yeah. I said it. What you gonna do? I'm just fine.
You can't take it back. If you go, so you got to stick with it. Okay, so you have that. You're going to cut through the division. How many? I think I saw a picture. I want to say it was 5. Was it 5? 5? How many is in the division right now?
We got a couple of new girls coming in, so we'll have, I want to say 8 to 9.
8. Okay. All right. Now that's a pretty fair division right there.
Especially on the indie scene, yeah.
Yes,
like that's kind of a lot for a girls division. So most places don't even have women's division. So that's kind of a lot. So.
And as you were going, you know, in the route of the ass kicker, you're also being the bad guy, quotes, air quotes put around the bad guy there. You know, there are many different kinds of bad guys, you know, especially as fans are concerned. How do you run away and cheat and things of that nature when pushed upon? You know, for those that are not familiar with your work at all as an in-ring competitor, let's get some traits, some personality traits of Ivory Robyn kind of put out there, because the time that I saw you were maybe one could say a little bit full of oneself, or
yes, she is. It's okay. I'll take it.
Right.
She is she's a little bit egotistical, because she pretty much came in, said what she was gonna do, and she did it. So she's egotistical at that. She's a little bit maniacal. There are certain things that she'll do in the ring to a girl, and she'll just sit there and she'll just smile. Like, you know, I get like this little evil grin and stuff, and or Ivory Robyn gets this little evil grin. She's tough. Like, she'll get in your face, not care what you have to say. I will trash talk you all the way down to the floor. I think those are the two big things. She's egotistical and she's maniacal. Like like I said earlier, she'll do whatever it takes to keep the belt.
Now,
she doesn't care who she has to take down.
Now, whatever it takes could be translated in a number of ways. So, we're gonna translate that for layman's terms. Are you telling me that you cheat?
Yes, I will cheat if I have to. Maybe. I'm just kidding. No, she'll oops, no, I don't do that.
You don't cheat?
Because I'm a badass.
You backtracking? So you don't cheat?
I don't know.
Well,
yeah, it's it's not cheating if you don't get caught. So I don't know.
Okay, that's a Venturaism there. Cheating ain't cheating if you don't get caught. All right.
Yeah.
So we'll go with that. That's fair enough. So do anything that you have to do in order to win. Trash talk your opponents down to the floor. Maniacal. So I'm assuming that there's little remorse when Ivory Robyn does these dastardly acts to her fellow Diamonds Division colleagues.
No, not at all. No remorse. No remorse. When I go out and if you tick me off, if you hit that right button, I will slap your face sideways and I won't apologize afterwards. I will, no, I have no remorse. When I clothesline you, I try to clothesline you and take your head off. 'Cause it's all about keeping you down. So I don't know. I have no remorse. When I beat you up, I'm pretty sure it's 'cause you deserve it. 'Cause you ticked me off. So.
How cruel. Now,
yeah.
In years gone by, villains such as yourself would, eventually get cornered into, I guess, what we fans call the specialty match.
Oh, I love them.
Okay. So, now the whole point of those, as we view it, was always that I'm going to use you as the example. You keep doing things and doing things and doing things to the hero, and they can't get a fair shake at that person and or the championship, and therefore we have to stick you in something like a ladder match or steel cage or so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. Have you, two-parter, had the opportunity to participate in something such as that? And if you haven't, would you participate in something like that?
I have not. I would love to be in a tables match or a steel cage match. I tell the guys at the gym, I hope Booker gives us a chance one day. I just want to have a steel cage match because he has steel cage matches, as part of the main event. I'd be willing to go through a table. You know what I mean? That's just, I don't know. Once you start wrestling, you're like, screw it. Yeah, let's go for it. Do it. So I would love to be a part of a specialty match.
Well, but isn't that rather grueling on the body? I mean, the average wrestling ring ain't nothing pleasant to begin with, and I've only stepped in it. Just walking on the thing, you can feel that it's pretty solid. So
yeah,
and not at all what most people perceive it to be. So, and you want to go through a table and be in a steel cage? You willing to do that?
Why not? Yeah, why not? I don't know. It's crazy, but I'm one of those people. Sometimes I like crazy things. So, I like to be different. I like to, try to stand out. And so you don't really get matches like that, around this country for sure, around the U.S. where it's the only girl that I know that really does matches like that still is Candice LeRae. She'll get in there, now I would say some of her stuff is really extreme, But like I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to get hit in the head by a baseball bat or something like that. But if I'm just flying off going through a table, like I'm willing to take one for the team. I'm willing to do it.
But you're right, Candice LeRae. I think she does stand out on the indie circuit for doing things of that nature. Very hard hitting. Of course, there are a couple other ones. You got Mickey Knuckles, who's queen of the hardcores at this point. Pandora also has done some in her day. LuFisto's really known for it.
LuFisto's another one.
She's stepping her way up into being a hard-hitting competitor, which actually would probably be a good match for you. But I'll get into that later. So, Booker T, if this comes across again, there's suggestion number 2. She wants to participate in some form of extreme match.
Yes. People probably look at me crazy like, girl, sit down somewhere. So start sounding like my dad, sit down.
That might be money. You never know. Could
yeah,
money.
Yeah. I bet fans would want to see that because, like I said, it's something that you don't really see with women wrestlers. The female wrestlers are like the table matches, or the last match. I'm trying to think. One of the best feuds that I've ever seen in women's wrestling. I gotta say it. Is Gail Kim and Taryn Terrell. Like, the matches that they had they were freaking awesome. Like, they did a ladders match, which I believe was their second match, and then they had to stop their feud because, I believe Taryn Terrell ended up having a kid.
Yeah.
But they were just so good. Like, they had that specialty match, and it's just, I wouldn't mind doing something like that.
Tara was a certified stunt woman, though. So
that's why I'm like, ooh, her body's really used to that.
Yeah, I was like, the stuff she was doing, like, that was different. And I think that was her primary niche when she was wrestling, is that she became the girl that was willing to go through the paces. And, like, any match that most people talk about as it relates to her seems to be last woman standing, ladder match, the hardcore, stuff like that. So, yeah, a lot of stuff going on there. And if you do happen to get the call that you're going to participate in one of those matches at RW, please shoot me an email because I want to see it. So
I sure will.
that might be a sight to see. If the fans out there who have not seen you were to need to be able to go out and do some sort of homework on Ivory Robyn, which match would you suggest that they track down of yours and watch to kind of get a real idea of who you are and what you're capable of?
I kind of don't want to give it away. It's like, I don't want you to see all my secrets and stuff. But to really get a gist of who Ivory Robyn is, oh man, I would say my best match hasn't aired yet. One of my best matches hasn't aired yet. But a good starter one would be, the triple threat match.
Okay.
Especially what I did at the end, that's who. Episode 79. That's who Ivory Robyn is. That's when you first get to see her and be like, who is this? What? Really? Like, she did that? Really? So that one, and then, of course, when I interfered with their, the original match between Princess Miranda and Athena, when I came out, I'll take you both out. And then the triple threat match just shows that I'm willing to do. Now you got me hesitant to say it like that, but
Why are you hesitant now?
Because it shows that, hey, if I gotta win this way, all right, I'm gonna win it this way. So there you go.
If you're gonna be the best, embrace it.
Hey, I do what I need to do to get the win.
That's right. Embrace it. You know, I grew up watching Tully Blanchard. That dude never apologized for cheating. Although he claimed that he never cheated, but still, we are. So you can just do that. Just claim, wink, wink, that you don't cheat. So.
Mm-hmm. It ain't cheating if you don't get caught.
Which is odd because it always gets caught on camera. So I don't know.
Yeah, but does the ref see it though? Does the ref see it?
The ref is blind. The ref is
always... Okay. I use that to my advantage, okay?
That's right. Refs don't know. That's all right. So, yes, we got you now. So, if you're going to go track down matches and you want to see who Ivory Robyn is, first off, she says there's a new one coming up, and we don't want to give it away just yet, so you're going to have to stay tuned to Reality Wrestling YouTube channel. Apparently, that next match might be the match that she wants to see, but before then, you can go check out the Triple Threat match. That will give you a little bit of insight. And I think the match following that, you can just hear on commentary and really kind of get a grasp of personality.
Yes. Without me being in the ring, yeah, that's a good one as well. You're so right. You're so right.
Well, I am Mr. Green of Women's Pro Wrestling Network. Oh, yes. You know, it's time for random questions. This is the point of the interview where I put out just questions that aren't necessarily wrestling-based. I don't get away from it all the way, but not necessarily wrestling-based, just to kind of get into your head a tad. So here we go. Name a tourist attraction in your current town.
The Sam Houston statue.
What's the movie of the year? Of last year, in your opinion?
I was going to say 2016 just started.
That's why I had to clarify. I was like, well, we are.
Now, okay, before I continue, is it stuff that I like or just you want me to just...
No, you.
Okay. Fast and Furious 7.
I'll tell you if you're right. Oh, you're wrong. No.
Oh,
okay.
Fast and Furious 7.
Wrong. Movie of the year, Star Wars. No, okay, Fast and Furious 7. That's all right. You enjoyed that one. Scandal or How to Get Away with Murder?
I don't watch either one. Oh God. How to Get Away with Murder?
Wrong. The answer is Scandal. No. Outside of wrestling, what else do you enjoy?
I love watching cartoons and listening to music. I love, cause there are times where I don't want to watch all the drama shows and stuff. So, I do watch a lot of like Family Guy and Bob's Burgers and Simpsons and listen to a lot of music. So, yeah. Oh, and I'm kind of a nerd too, so I do watch Jeopardy and like Wheel of Fortune and stuff like that. So. Okay,
well, that's fine. You can exercise your brain answering along with the contestants on TV. What's a talent that you had that the general public doesn't know about?
I was a singer. I sang in the choir for 10 years, and from elementary to high school, and I received 4 music scholarships to college.
Oh. Now, here's the real question. Does Booker T know that you can sing?
I don't think he does. I don't want him to know. Because he's like, Ivory sing. I'm going to be like, no.
Well, he knows now.
Oh, really? It's like, okay, that was a setup. Okay, got you.
No, it's no setup. I just he may never listen to this episode. I don't know. But if he does, then I know. Excluding yourself, of course, who's the greatest female wrestler of all time?
Oh, God, that's hard.
Yes,
sorry, my answers aren't just direct.
All right, because you're going to have to step on some toes on this one if you're answering this question. So, yes.
Dang it. It's so hard. That's so hard. Can I get 2? Or it got to be 1?
Okay, we'll give you 2.
Okay. Lita in China.
Lita in China. Any particular reasons behind China?
I feel like during the Attitude Era, when there was really, I guess they were on hiatus from the women's division, she really brought it back. I feel like she was one of the main faces, if not the main face, of bringing back women's wrestling and showing that, hey, we can hang with the guys too. So I respect her. No matter what she's going through, I respect the heck out of her for that, for being that face. And then Lita she came in and she was like freaking balls to the wall. Let's do this. I'll jump off the freaking cage. Not saying she did it, but she's like, I'll jump off the cage and do a hurricane run on you. You know, that was her mentality. And whenever I first started wrestling, I kind of took on that mentality. And I was like, I want to be a high flyer like Lita. So I love those two.
All right. And then now we get to exercise your creative side in what we call fantasy booking. You were able to book your own angle and or storyline against whomever you wanted. Who would it be? How would it play out?
I would kind of do a continuation of what me and Lita had. Whenever she gave me the title, she handed it to me, I snatched it from her. And I just kind of gave her this look like, you can go now. You can get out of my ring. You know, and so I would like for there to be like maybe some, you know, conflict of to where she thinks I'm disrespecting her, you know, her being the veteran. And then she's going to come in, she's going to show me a thing or two. I don't know, she hits a twist of fate on me, you know, wins with the lead assault or something like that. You know, just something crazy like that. Her just, you know, kind of humbling me, you know, since I looked at her like, who is she? Like, you're nothing to me. Is the look that I gave her, like, this is my time, sweetie. You can, even though you're a Hall of Famer, I don't care. Get out of my ring. You know, I was being disrespectful. And so I would want for her to come in and kind of humble me, like, girl, like, I am nothing to mess with. So.
For shame.
Something crazy like that.
For shame. Ivory Robyn would disrespect a Hall of Famer like that. So that is the third note of this interview that I'm going to say. Booker T needs to, you know, take note to that. Perhaps you can make that fantasy booking occur. Again, don't know if Lita has any plans to ever step back in anybody's ring, but, you know, I will up the ante for your fantasy booking, and I'll take that storyline and say that after snatching the title away from Lita, you go on your tear of the Open Challenge Tour and various promotions, including the, of course, Diamonds Division. Not being able to have found anyone of suitable caliber, one person rises through the ranks of the Diamonds Division, which you have completely disrespected and humiliated. Booker T steps up and gives you his Booker T challenge. He said, I did it back in WCW. You're going to do it too. You're going to wrestle twice tonight. Defending the championship 2 times in a row. First opponent, whoever happens to be the number 1 contender of the Diamonds Division. And if you happen to make it, the second one, Hall of Famer Lita.
Oh, man. Love the story. Love the story. Love the angle. That is, I might have to present that to book.
But of course, you know, the real key to that is that you'd have to be just an overall and genuine, I ain't going to say it on my show, but you'd have to be something extremely bad for the weeks leading up to that, so people will want to see you just get your head knocked off.
But, yeah.
So, yes, you'd have to be as arrogant and as over the top and as mean as you could possibly be to be placed in such a role of punishment.
Yeah, pretty much just get out of control.
Yes.
Pretty much. And Booker's like, what's going on? You know, he has no, like, reign over me or anything. So I'm just, like, spazzing out on everybody. I'm just beating the crap out of everybody. And then all of a sudden, here's Lita. So, yeah, that's a nice story. That's a nice storyline.
Hey, it's the fantasy booking segment of the show. That's what we do here. You know, maybe y'all can get that going. See, what's that? What's that? Note number 4, Booker T. There you go. That's gold right there. That is a championship gold, and it roots back around to giving homage to Booker T. How nice is that? You did it for the television championship. You could do it too, or at least you can try. so there you have it. I like it. There we go, folks. We have gone through the bulk of the interview and introduced the world to Ivory Robyn here on the WPN, the Women's Pro Wrestling Network, on the podcast, The Rights and Wrongs of Pro Wrestling with Mr. Green. And she's been a wonderful, wonderful guest. And you know, she gave a thumbs up stamp of approval to the fantasy booking. If we're lucky, maybe that'll appear somewhere down the line, and then I can say, hey, I pitched that.
Yes, and you will be there. You will be there.
Oh, hey, that would be great.
I will make sure that you know about it. If something like that were to ever happen, I would make sure that you know about it. You got me on record saying that, so.
Well, that's right, because it's in cyberspace now. It's never going away. So there we have it. So, you know, I want to say best of luck in your retention of the Diamonds division, and I am looking forward to elevating that division back to its prominence, regardless of the fact that, you know, you're going to do it by any means necessary. So, you know, you may have to step on some toes, but at the end of the day, the division will have eyeballs on it, and that's what counts.
Yeah, that's what I want. I want us to be seen, not just me. I want the whole division to be seen, but of course me being top girl. So yeah, but yeah, that's honestly that's the goal. Is just I want the division to get out there. I want everybody to see that this is a place where you want to come to train and learn. As we like to call it here, we call reality of wrestling. We call it college. Like WWE, TNA, places like that. Those are like, once you graduate from college, this is big leagues. So we're college. We teach you psychology. We teach you all these different things. So we're not just your average indie promotion.
And it shouldn't be, because it's run by the man himself and his wife. I have to give a shout out to Charmel too. So last plug for our ROW. I don't have the number in front of me right now, but last plug for them is you can go to realityofwrestling.com and get all contact information. And last plug for Ivory Robyn, if you are a legitimate promoter, not just somebody that's trying to score a number or a date, please just leave that alone.
Please don't, because I don't want to have to go at you sideways.
The girls get enough of that kind of harassment on a day-to-day basis from guys online anyway. So
yeah.
So please be considerate. If you are a promoter, don't be using that as a means to try to score with somebody. So anyway, legitimate promoters, they want to contact you. Put your stuff out again one more time, so they can try to contact you if they want you for bookings or schedule you for a show or anything like that. One more time, please.
Oh. All right. On Twitter, you can contact me and follow me as well at Ivory, Ivory, Robyn, ROBYN, capital R, capital O, capital W, Ivory Robyn Rowe on Twitter. On Facebook, friend request me, Robyn Reed, ROBYN, REID, Robyn Reed. And if you want to email me, it is the word one, robynreed@gmail.com.
Fantastic. And for those of you that are interested in following the WPN on its various platforms. You can find us at WPNWrestling.com. The website is up. Of course, the podcast will go there. If you are already on YouTube, please subscribe. Your subscriptions and likes on our Facebook page mean a lot. Shows a lot of support, keeps me going. And which you can find by typing out the full name Women's Pro Wrestling Network, all one word, on Facebook, and you can go Women's Pro Wrestling Network on YouTube, and you can find that, interviews and matches from various locations. Maybe one of these days we'll be able to present to you an Ivory Robyn match. Who knows if the Black Diamond will ever make her return into the Atlanta area. It would be wonderful. Yes. Be wonderful to bring her back if she does. There are many girls here that will be chomping at the bit for the opportunity to step in the ring with her. And with that, thank you all for listening and supporting this podcast and channel. Ivory Robyn appreciates your support as well. And for those of you in Texas, or for those of you that just follow Reality of Wrestling online, they also appreciate your support, because all of your eyeballs, your support, your likes, your subscriptions matter to each and every last one of us. It means a lot, keeps us moving along. So until the next podcast and interview, thanks a lot, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the WPN's Rights and Wrongs of Pro Wrestling. If you have questions or comments, please contact us via our Facebook or our YouTube channel at the Women's Pro Wrestling Network. If you're new to the WPN, feel free to subscribe to our channel and like our page. We appreciate your support. Thank you again for listening.